And welcome back, Fan Bros. Thank you for everyone who's been listening, who's been watching us on YouTube. Thank you for everyone who's been subscribing, leaving those comments, all that good stuff. We love you. Thank you so much. Y'all are the best. Please tell a friend to tell a friend about the Fan Bros Show. It's for all nerds. That means it's for all of y'all, everybody. You know, we talk about all kind of stuff, as you've seen if you were watching the Guac segment or listening to the show right now. You know, everything is discussed. But now it's time for one of my favorite segments on the show, the Comics I Copped segment of FanBrosShow. Show. Comics I Copped. Make sure you use that hashtag. That's all the comics you copped, you're reading, you're buying, anything old, new, it doesn't matter. Use the hashtag Comics I Copped. Shout outs because it's Pride Month this month. So I really wanted to give a shout out to a couple of comics, even though they're a little, older comics. Like I say, it doesn't matter. Old, new, I want to know what you're reading. And this is something y'all should all pick up. I talked about it before when it dropped. The graphic novel, Love is Love. I mean, it is absolutely one of the best comic books I've ever read in my life. It features a ton of short stories, most of them 1 or 2 pages long, about, various subjects related to pride, related to queer culture, related to this shooting that happened 2 years ago. It was dedicated to the shooting. The proceeds from it still go to that.
The Pulse shooting.
Yeah, the shooting at the Pulse nightclub. And I mean, absolutely just one of the most amazing comic books I've ever read. Like, it had me in tears so many times while I was reading this book. It's just so powerful. It's so good. Make sure you check that out. Also want to give a shout out to Bingo Love by T. Franklin. Y'all all know her. The book is popping off. It's a really dope book with queer characters, just things that you need to check out. Like, it's like we see all this, like we were talking about earlier in the episode about how men are trash, and you see all this reaction to, characters and diversity where we just see all this negative reaction. So I just want to point out some stuff that I really love. And like I said, since it's Pride Month, I really want to talk about a couple characters and books because I saw somebody post this on Twitter the other day. And one of the books that really changed my life and really changed how I viewed the world, everything, was Young Avengers. By Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey. And it features these 2 characters, Wiccan and Hulkling, who are 2 young, I can't even, say they're boys because they're really not, but they're in a, homosexual relationship. And they are one of my favorite depictions of anything, just because they're such a realistic couple and you just feel their love so much. And it's one of those books and one of those comics that'll just make you why are people mad at this? Why are people mad at people showing love? Like, that's something that I really came into later in life. And I really wonder, why do people judge people on who you're deciding to have sex with? Like, I hope we one day get to a time where that's such an irrelevant question, because that's so weird that, when you really think about it like that people judge people on who they're sleeping with. It's, we live in an interesting world. So, yeah.
I was going to say that. Yeah. And as long as people are not secure within themselves, which would probably be forever, this is going to be a problem.
Well, hopefully, things like this make you more secure in himself. Because I remember a few years ago, a friend of mine hit me when the news came out that Green Lantern was gay, that one of the Green Lanterns they made gay in the comic books. And, he was like, yo, what's this about? And I was like, bro, 2 of my favorite characters are gay, And so it's like, you grow and you learn and you realize that judging people by such, nonsense and being insecure about yourself and then applying that to other people is just more nonsense and ignorance. So hopefully characters like this and books like this encourage people to grow. That's why I say everyone should go out and pick up Love is Love if you haven't already, because I swear to you, it's just one of the best books you'll ever buy.
And I'll also reiterate the shout out to T. Franklin, somebody who's riding for a minute, grinding for years.
For a minute.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Bingo Love had to go back for second printings and whatnot.
For several,
like a bunch, right? So she's definitely been on the scene and got her opportunity and shined through it. Got the deal with Image, and the book is making an impact, not just financially, but emotionally and even spiritually on the people who are reading it and who absorb it through the joy of others. So, big shout out to her. She's definitely an inspiration for me when I want to create and I have any apprehension about my skills or my ability, or even if people are going to want to consume what I create. despite anything going on with her and any of her challenges, she's making it happen. So that's a big salute to her, for real.
Word up. And also this week that just dropped this week, a lot of people are recommending it to me, and so I finally got a chance to read it today, was Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett. And oh my God, like, this is one of those books, like when I was talking about the Vision a few years ago, you know, when you read a first issue of a book where you're just like, whoa. And Al Ewing, he wrote Ultimates before this. And so I've met him a couple times. I loved his version of the Ultimates. I've told him about it before. But then you read something like Immortal Hulk, which is a very dark horror type take on Bruce Banner and the Hulk. And you're like, yo, this guy went from writing this book that was, you know, super outer space, cosmic, giant Marvel ideas filled with, you know, huge thought ideas, to this horror book, which is, when I finished the first issue, I was sitting there like, oh, like you finish that first issue and you're like, oh, this is gonna be something here, like, whoa, you know. So, you know, shout outs to him. Immortal Hulk, make sure you pick that up. Oh Lordy, yeah. That's a serious one.
So I've been reading breaking news. I've been reading.
It happens.
So, right. It is. Yeah, I stumbled into it and they were just words and I knew what they meant. But so
what up, Floyd?
Right. Oh my God. But I've read Batman 48. Tom King is continuing to lay waste to any narratives or words he can put on paper. The way it's like I open up every comic and my book catches on fire. Like, that's how good it is. So this is opening arc of The Best Man, where the Joker is looking at Batman like, no invite, because he's supposed to be he didn't get the invite to the wedding and he's taking it out as only the Joker can. Now, I won't spoil what unfolds, but I will say Tom King's take on the Joker is probably the most jarring, chilling aspect of the Joker, where he is the chaos amongst the order, but he very calculated in his chaos, to the point where his jokes aren't punchlines. His jokes are within the natural flow of conversation, which is something you're not really used to with the Joker. And if there's something menacing about someone who can rationalize or even normalize their psychotic, murderous nature as being regular, and will make jokes along the way that aren't knock jokes or anything of the sort. And he's written him, and that's the thing, he's written him two different ways. Like, he's written him as the classic punchline Joker, or just like a chilling Joker, but still making jokes. This Joker is different. Like, his something's happened along the way and he's changed. And that volatility within him, it's just beautiful the way he shows it. And it's called The Best Man for a reason. And yeah, it's Batman 48. If you haven't been reading Batman to this point, I don't know where you've been, but you need to get out of wherever you've been and pick it up.
I will get out wherever I've been because I need to see this. That's intriguing.
The whole Batman run has been incredible. Issue 50 is going to be the wedding of Batman and Catwoman. So, you know, you definitely need to catch up, because
it go up without a hitch.
Obviously, no problems there.
You know, probably a lot of shishi food because they're Wayne. So, you know,
all that.
A lot of tar.
One last one that I want to recommend is this trade right here for everyone watching on YouTube. You see me right now. Extremity by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. Daniel Warren Johnson is the author and the artist of this book. It's only 2 trades long. There are only 2 trades to the whole series. And Extremity is a really ill, like, I want to say kind of like Saga type world, but without the magic. Like a very weird, technological, futuristic world where a lot of apocalyptic things seem to have happened. And from the first trade, the book is called Extremity because the main character is a young woman whose family, her mother was killed in this big battle when this like one group of people came through and marauded her whole castle and village in this world that they live in. But it's called Extremity because she's an artist. And in that battle, when her mother was killed, her hand gets chopped off. And so it's about what happens when you're one thing and then your life is changed and you're forced into becoming a warrior and a killer when you were born to be an artist. And I only read the first trade, and it's one of those books where I'm just like, yo, like I was so mad at myself for not buying both trades. Because when I finished the first one, I was like, now I got to go back to the store ASAP and get that second one. Because I got to know how this story ends up. So definitely check it out. Extremity by Daniel Warren Johnson. Beautiful art, beautiful writing, just a really dope story, and only 2 trades long, so you can pick it up and finish it rather quickly.
Damn, I love this segment. I learned so much from this segment. And then it gets me hyped because I be sitting there like, yo, why are we not seeing like these stories be adapted? Why is it the same thing over and over again? But
at the same time, we are like, a lot of the books we talk about, we were talking about Why the Last Man when that first, when we first started comics dropped, and now Why the Last Man is being adapted into a series. We've been talking about Wicked and Divine. That series is underway. There hasn't been a lot of word on it lately. That one is so tough though. I was thinking about it the other day, because it's so tough because you have versions of Prince and David Bowie, and various things happen to these characters. And so that's going to be such a tough series to sell. I can see that. And then, people behind Saga said they never wanted to make a movie or a TV series. So there's that. Hopefully maybe one day they do Paper Girls, but you never know. But all these comics I just mentioned, Saga, Paper Girls, Batman, Extremity, make sure you check them out. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, where you'll see more of these and some other comics that we've been copying. Use the hashtag #ComicsICopped. We keep telling you there's some big news coming for us, and that'll probably be dropping sometime next week, so get ready for that. Yeah. Save your coins is all I'm saying, because it's gonna be some, something major, and it'll actually help you save your own coins. So look at that. FanBro Show, we do things for you. Anything else before we get out of here tonight? It's the circle of trust. Everyone benefits. That's all I'm saying. Yo, shout out to Daniel, Into the Badlands. Did you see my man at DC Comics the other day?
Big things going down, man.
Holding a stack of Batman comics, talk about he just had a major meeting.
Wait, which one are you talking about? You said Daniel. You're not talking about Louis Tan.
That is brother Daniel Tan. Is that his
thinking of evil twin brother?
I was actually butchering names and thinking Daniel Day-Lewis and not not
that's what I figured.
I said the name of the episode, Daniel Day-Chan.
I figured. Yeah. Well, I followed the dots and I realized who you were talking about.
AKA Daniel Day-Lewis Tan. Yeah. He was actually at DC Comics holding a stack of Batman and talking about he was in a meeting, not for some comic book stuff, but for some big movie. So, it didn't really work out on Iron Fist, but he just switched universes. That circle of trust keeps going.
You see what happened to him in Deadpool, so.
Oh, I mean, he needs to get straight up out of the Marvel universe. It just has not been working.
He
could still be around because technically they reversed it. But
no, he didn't save him. He saved.
I know.
He ain't saving Shatterstar. He hated him.
He's not
like that's the version I wish they'd done, where he saved Terry Crews, where he saved Invisible Brad Pitt Vanisher. Yeah. He saved Peter, and then he just stood there and watched Shatterstar. I took a selfie.
Shatterstar went through the helicopter blades, right?
Yes, yeah. Like if you took a selfie when he was getting chopped up, like that's the version I wanted.
Yeah, that's wild. But before we go, one of my all-time favorite cartoons in the world, on the planet, forevermore, Gargoyles has come up. All time. I mean, one of the darkest, most wild ass shows that, under the pretense of being a children's show, but it
pretense.
It was mature AF, okay? If I do say so myself, but it was one of my favorites, something that I've always loved to this day. Apparently, there's talk, or has been talk, and now it's ongoing, that Jordan Peele wants to adapt this. Now, this is the part where it gets a little nervous for me, because even though I trust Jordan with my life when it comes to the movie stuff, I don't know if I want to see it in this way. He's looking to adapt this as a live action movie.
Oh no.
I don't want to really see. Okay, I'm not even gonna say really. I don't want to see Gargoyles as a live action movie. But then again, I don't know what Jordan Peele can do with this.
Yeah, I'll trust him, but I would rather see a series. It's one of those things, right? You know,
right? I just want to see a new animation. Okay, that is a reboot I want to see. I'll take that a little bit back. What I said earlier about never want to see reboots. I would want to see a Gargoyles be rebooted.
And especially because we lost the Deadpool animated series. You know, I'd love to see a new, more adult, but still reaching the kids.
It was already adult. Let's be
that's what I'm saying. No, but still reaching the kids animated series. You know, that's what, because I really, especially from someone like Jordan Peele, because we don't have that on television right now.
Yeah. So I mean, he actually reached out to Disney about this a while ago, and they was like, "Nah, son, we passed." Now Disney come crawling back to him like, "Well, actually." That money you did would get out though. So
that ain't all on me.
Yeah, while I trust the creative process of Jordan, I personally don't want to see this as a live action. That's my only situation there.
No, yeah.
Oh, you don't know what to say.
I don't want to see that shit, dog. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't want to see no live action Gargoyles. Animate that motherfucker.
Draw. Yeah.
Draw it, damn it. I want to hear the Gargoyles. We gotta get who we gotta get to do the voice. Get Samuel L. Jackson in there.
But no, what's his name? Did the voice?
I turned the stone, motherfucker. I turned in the day. That's why I didn't show up. I was a statue.
Yes, I killed them. They deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.